Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the March 18th, 2020, City of Homestead, Florida, regular council meeting, and I will call this meeting to order. Before we proceed, I want to read a statement for the record regarding the conduct of this meeting and the opportunity for the public to be heard and take part. The novel coronavirus disease 2019, COVID-19, poses a health risk to the City of Homestead residents, especially its elderly residents. In light of the nationwide state of emergency, President Trump and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention have recommended that the public avoid gatherings of more than 10 people. As a result, the public will not be allowed to attend today's City Council meeting. However, in order to comply with the intent of the Florida Sunshine Law, the meeting is being broadcast live on the city website at www.cityofhomestead.com. Public comments will be accepted and can be emailed to eSewell, that's ESEWELL, at cityofhomestead.com by the end of the day. Comments should be limited to 400 words per submission. Please provide your name and address for the record. All comments will be reflected in the meeting minutes. Following this meeting, the broadcast will continue with an informational slide providing the information containing the email and contact for the submission of public comments. Is it correct that this will be comments will be accepted up to 30 minutes after the adjournment of this meeting?
Yes, sir.
So with that, Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilman Shelley? Here. Councilwoman Bailey? Here. Councilman Roth?
Here.
Councilman Fletcher? Councilwoman Avila? Here. Mayor Losner?
Here. Madam Manager, are there any additions, deletions, or deferrals? I will not be going forward at this meeting with the appointment to the Housing Authority Board upon the advice of counsel to the city. My other matters will proceed. Tab 1, Item 4, Consent Agenda. And Mr. Pearl, are you going to take that? The approval of the consent agenda. We have a motion to approve the consent agenda, moved by Councilman Roth, seconded by Councilman Shelley. Any discussion from council? None appearing. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Next item, tab 13, business from the city manager, declaration of state of emergency under car number 2884.
Yes, Mayor. Pursuant to our code, the declaration of the state of emergency is to be confirmed by the City Council. Staff recommends that the Mayor and Council approve the attached resolution declaring a state of emergency for the City of Homestead due to the health risk presented by the novel coronavirus disease 2019, COVID-19, to the city and its residents.
We have a motion for approval. Moved by Councilman Ross, seconded by Councilwoman Bailey. Any questions or discussions from council?
Read it.
Mr. Pearl. Sure.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, I was just going to read the title for the record. It's a resolution of the City Council of the City of Homestead, Florida, confirming a declaration of a state of emergency authorized by the city manager, providing for implementation and providing for an effective date.
Councilman Roth? Councilman Fletcher?
Yes.
Councilwoman Avila? Yes. Councilman Shelley? Councilwoman Bailey? Mayor Losner?
Yes.
The motion carries.
Thank you. Anything further, Madam Manager? Right. Well, nothing further from you. Do we have anything further from the city attorney?
Yes, I just have something I want to say, Mayor. I just want to say a few words on the COVID-19 situation facing our world and our community. These are uncharted waters for all, but we want to assure everyone that the city staff and our elected officials are making every effort to ensure the safety of our staff, residents, businesses, and visitors. As things develop, we will continue to keep you updated with regard to closures, mandates, resources, and other relevant information through Facebook, Instagram, Inside Homestead, and the city website. You may also sign up to receive direct emails and texts through our website, www.cityofhomestead.com. We've taken steps to maintain continuity of government while recognizing that personal contact and interaction need to be curtailed. As such, effective this week, the city will be operating on a modified schedule throughout our departments. We will be alternating staff on site with staff who are able to perform some of these work functions remotely. Please note that our essential services, including police, electric utilities, water, sewer, street, solid waste, customer service, and administration, are continuing to provide uninterrupted service. We will be updating you on a regular basis as this is an ever-changing event. And as this ever-changing event evolves, it's a time for all of us to come together, not just city staff and our council, but as a city to help one another to face these challenges. That's it, Mayor.
Thank you. Are we working on doing a city-oriented hotline?
Yes, we actually are, Mayor. We expect to be able to implement it by the end of this week, and we'll give you more on that.
Very good, and we have, multiple social media outlets and through
Yes,
all
we
the
do.
council social media. Everyone will have an opportunity to be aware of that direct city hotline as this situation progresses. Thank you. Mr. Pearl, any further?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, this is going to seem small, and I don't know when we'll be able to do this, but at some point in the future, we'll need to have an executive session in the case of Hing versus Brightview Landscaping Services et al. It's case number 2018-016705 in Miami-Dade County. Thank you.
Just as soon as we can make it happen. Nothing further? Tab 14, Councilwoman Bailey.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to make sure that this got on the agenda so that everybody was aware that there are breakfast and lunch meals being served and provided at most of our public schools and a lot of our charter schools. So please have a look at either Alberto Carvalho, our superintendent's social media page, and you are more than welcome to email me with your zip code and the schools that are closest to you if you are having a hard time finding meals for the kids. These are meals that are going to go to waste if they're not used, and there are a lot of them. So I really want to urge parents to take advantage of them because we don't want to use up what we have at our homes and at the same time have these meals go to waste. And the last thing is to make sure you have your child with you because they are not handing it out to adults alone. So a small group of people in your car, you can drive by, they've got bags that they can just hand out. And please feel free to reach out. My office number is 305-224-4454, or my email address is jbailey@cityofhomestead.com. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. And to piggyback on that, we're now trying to coordinate with the very busy and successful food pantry that's conducted out of the Methodist Church on Saturday mornings. And those logistics are being coordinated now so that in some manner, those 600 families that are served a couple of Saturday mornings every month will continue to receive that assistance. Nutrition, all the experts talk about it's important to eat properly and drink properly and keep your resistance up and not to skimp. And we're going to continue what we can do to make sure that those most vulnerable in our community are cared for. But thank you, Councilwoman Bailey.
Keep me posted on that if you need help. I've got a big van. I could load up some things and have a little delivery service. I would be more than happy to help.
Very good. Thank you. Councilman Shelley?
Just one question. I know the as it relates to the HHA, do we? I don't know exactly what's going on there. Can you guys prepare some sort of a memo or informational sheet for us in the future that kind of outlines whatever back and forth is going on?
Yes, I was made aware of the incidents going back and forth. There were two investigative reports that were done by an independent party about the claims that were made in both directions. Those were finalized. I got copies of them late last night. I will circulate them to the council for their review so everybody can see the actual reports that were handed down.
Yeah, I actually unfortunately did not hear any of that, but
I'm sorry. There were independent reports that were done after an investigation of cross claims that were made. I got copies of those reports just last night. I will circulate them to everybody on the council so they're up to speed as to what the
perfect. Yeah, that's
findings
because
were.
I know I've heard back and forth in the community as far as this, that, and the other, and I just want to see if we can get some clarity on.
I will provide you with the reports that were done on the investigations.
Perfect.
Later today.
Great, thank you. That's all there.
Very timely. Thank you, Councilman. Mr. Fletcher?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I too wanted to echo the question on the HHA, so I appreciate Councilman Shelley asking that question. Look forward to seeing that information. I want to thank the city manager for all the information she's been providing as we continue to work through this pandemic, and I'm always available via phone if somebody needs me. So as we move forward, please reach out if you need any assistance. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Roth?
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I want to echo that and give a lot of kudos out to our city manager, Kate McCaffrey, city staff. I know you guys have been working your tails off. The information that's coming out is very fluid, it's very informative, and thank you for keeping all of us and our city residents up to date. There's going to be a huge recovery process after this is all over with, and I'm not sure what our roles will be up here as we assist our citizens and our businesses to get back on track. I do want to throw a website address out there that the state of Florida has put out for businesses that will be struggling, that may need bridge loans to keep their businesses up and running as we eventually will enter into a recovery process from what's happened across the country and the world. That website address is floridadisasterloan.org. Again, that's floridadisasterloan.org. I just got that information this morning, and I will be learning the process and who can apply, who can't apply, and if it becomes too hard for any of our businesses to make loan applications and it becomes too restrictive, we obviously will come up with some kind of a plan to reach out to the governor's office and let them know that our people need your help. So I'll keep people posted as best as I can with that. And again, it was floridadisasterloan.org for more information about the Small Business Administration's loan program. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Roth. Councilwoman Avila?
Thank you, Mayor. I want to give kudos to City Manager and staff for all of the excellent action and attention to this ongoing situation. I look forward to the hotline, to being able to share that on my outlets as well. To piggyback on what Councilman Roth was mentioning, yes, there is also a survey for business damage assessment, and that website is for floridadisaster.biz, and that's biz with a Z. I'm assuming that this is something that can be looked into after all the damage is done. But please, look into this if you have a business, if you're a business owner, and then also reach out to your local Chamber of Commerce. The South Dade Chamber of Commerce is a wealth of information for businesses that are going through a challenge. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, and then finally, quickly, ask for council approval for confirmation of the appointment of Bradley Compton to the Planning and Zoning Board. Move approval.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Roth. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Secondly,
Aye.
there are 2 openings on the Police Pension Board for city residents. and I have been soliciting recommendations from the law enforcement and financial community. Kelly Denham is an active duty Coral Gables police officer and is a resident of Homestead. Other recommendations that came to me were too late to get on the agenda, so that at such time as we have meetings in the future, I'll bring forward another appointment to fill out that board. That is something that group's really been anxious to have done. So I would request a motion to approve Kelly Denham as one of the resident slots to the Police Pension Board. Moved by Councilman Shelley. Second by Councilwoman Avila. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
Okay. And then the last item would be, the last set of appointments would be our collective nominations to the Public Art Committee, as reflected in item 4. Susan Sorrentino, Carol Housen, Robin Sanders, Jeanette Manfredi, Hugh Hudson, Larry Deal, and Steve Walker. A full complement of board members, with a couple of them, at least 2, being returning members from the prior board. So do we have a motion to approve those appointments? Moved by Councilwoman Bailey. I think I heard a second from Councilman Roth.
Second.
You're nodding your head. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then, and of course, this final item 5 came about before I knew the restrictions on our schedules. But it occurred to me we've been having some council meeting discussions that are bigger picture philosophical issues, such as density and downtown and a whole host of items and types of housing. Let me just preface this by saying that in my prior tenure in office, council members were together almost weekly at meetings, and I think there was a different level of collegiality and familiarity. And at such time as we're able to all come together again, I'd like to have, as informal as it can be, a public meeting, sit down, brainstorm, espouse some philosophies, ideas, thoughts on any range of topics that we'd like to address at any given time, without it being in the context of a specific proposal before us in a traditional public meeting forum. So just something to keep in mind as we go forward. And with that, I understand from the attorneys that we're awaiting direction from the governor as to how we might continue to have public meetings under this new set of rules, remotely or otherwise. But at this point, we're kind of archaic. Technology is ahead of the statutes with regard to open government. I guess that's the easiest way to say it. So we'll await some. Mm-hmm.
Sure, that might not be possible, and with any luck, the governor will issue guidance shortly as to the parameters with which we can meet remotely.
Very good. Essentially, Ms. McCaffrey, right now we're tracking what the county is doing. The county, I guess, looking to the state, and we're following the guidelines necessarily following the guidelines espoused by the county. And I will say that, Mayor Jimenez personally, or his office, I know is in touch with management and some of the elected officials multiple times on a daily basis. So it's not like there's any lag in information. And two, I want to compliment staff. I know there's been hours and hours of meetings and logistics and who can work from home, who needs to be here, how can we, try to avoid some cross-contamination and swap out. And I know a lot of logistical issues have come together in a very short amount of time. So we all recognize it's just an unfolding in slow motion situation that that changes hourly. So with that, sure.
Report time, if you don't mind.
Oh.
I just had a quick little message for all the parents out there. I know that this is definitely going to take some getting used to, but I just wanted to share a few ideas that will really help in this transition. If your child's doing online courses, or just you need to go online and figure out what you're working on, these are a few things that I really suggest you do. That is to build a schedule and a routine together with your child. I'm going to post an example of mine later on Facebook, and I would be more than happy to help you customize one for yourself. You should designate a learning space in your home for your child to use, and familiarize yourself with what your child is working on. Also, be sure to set technology use rules. This is obviously a very dangerous time then if the kids are going to be on the computer all the time, that you make sure you know what sites they're on and what type of chat rooms, if any, they're able to log into. And lastly, take breaks and be active. For everyone out there, we need to do our best not to get stuck and sucked into all this negative news. I wanted to share a quick little thing from Mr. Rogers, who was my BFF since I was little. And one thing I remember him talking about his mom, and this quote that he always remembered. He says that his mother would say, "Look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping." And to this day, especially in times of disaster, I remember my mother's words, and I am always comforted by realizing there are still so many helpers, so many caring people in this world. So please look out for your neighbors. Make sure that you get our contact information. We are some of your helpers here in Homestead. And just take care of one another. Thank you.
Thank you. And with that, I think this is a good time to ask for a motion to adjourn. So moved, seconded by Mr. Shelley. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you all.